ocean blue. Carry me through you. Ocean blue. This is what I was made to do. What I was made to do. Ocean blue. Show me all your ways. Ocean blue. Be with me till the end of days. Till the end of days. Ocean blue. Carry me through you. Ocean blue. This is what I was made to do. What I was made to do. ocean blue. Carry me through you. Ocean blue. This is what I was made to do. What I was made to do. Ocean blue. Show me all your ways. Ocean blue. Be with me till the end of days. Till the end of days. Ocean blue.
Check, 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 check.
Carry me through you. Ocean blue. This is what I was made to do. What I was made to do.
Yeah, sick. All right. Okay. Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's live stream. I am your host, Calvin. And this stream is sponsored by me. So there is no sponsor. That is all. Okay, so you both are saying things like best advice ever and where I live, that's good advice. I guess that's what's in the description is not really bad life advice. It's actually pretty helpful. When I put that in the description, I was pretty much thinking, yeah, this is perfect. You're just gonna add a third cup of water if you're trying to drink it, and then you fill up the rest of the cup with ice. Then you only have very little water left, and you just have ice left. But AC in Tucson, you're like, where I live, that's good advice. So I guess, I guess if you're trying to take bad life advice, then don't read this description. You're like, Calvin! And now, returning to the stage, Calvin and his Zelda tea. I'm planning on getting some other shirts. I saw some Mario and Sonic shirts that I wanted to get. I think there was also a Halo shirt and a Metal Gear shirt that I wanted to get as well. All from Kohl's. I might actually go and get them tomorrow while I'm thinking about it. Yeah, AC in Tucson, you said give it a minute, it'll melt. And I'm like, you're right. This is actually helpful advice. Shoot, I should have said get yourself one of those steel tumblers and just put all the ice in there. And then you can keep all of that, like that and your drink cold. I should have put that in the description too, if that's the case. This is horrible bad life advice. This is unacceptable. My co-teacher brought an ice machine to the office. We fill it up with ice and add a drink, sip here and there, teach, and it's so good. So the bad life advice ended up changing to good life advice. Or some helpful, some convenient life advice, or some advice to consider. There we go. Advice to consider. In Arizona, turn on the cold faucet, you can take a nice warm bath. I don't like how that's worded because that indicates that it's not cold when it should be. AC in Tucson, you're being tortured from what it sounds like. But then again, I guess maybe that's par for the course when it gets during the summertime. Nikki, good to see you. Welcome back. Dang, AC. Well, all I can say is that you have my sympathies, AC. Okay, so to start off the stream, I'm going to do one original, and I'm going to do one cover, and then we're gonna get into the improv stuff. I really don't know. I really don't know what exactly it's gonna be about, but that's the whole point of the improv. We'll just kind of do whatever.
Ocean blue.
Where is the?
Carry
I had a special scene that I was using for something. Let's see, was it here? No.
This is what I was made to do.
No, okay, never mind.
What I was made to do.
Oh well. All right, cool. So, let's get into it. Let me see. I'll pull something from the saved queue. Maybe. Hey, thank you, Nikki. Yeah. That PSA has definitely been getting a lot more eyes on it. There have been more people that have either been coming over from Twitch or that have been showing up into the live streams from my gigs or yeah, for my gigs. Violet eyes. How did that one go? I forget how that one went. That's a late night jam stream, right? A late night jam tune. One of the ones that I kind of messed around with a little bit. Let's see. Oh, here we go.
Ocean blue.
Okay. I probably won't make it very long tonight. It's super hot. And my migraine is... got it.
Ocean blue.
Yeah, that's clear enough for me, Nikki. Let me see.
What I was made to do.
Wait, 2. Why did it go off twice? I don't know why you guys got 2 Discord notifications for the stream announcements. Was my internet being weird? Did it cut off and start over again? That's weird.
Ocean blue. Show me all your ways.
Oh yeah.
Ocean blue.
Okay.
Be with me till the end.
Nikki, you said good news is Thursday's better. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's great because we're gonna be multi-streaming that day. But then again, that's why you said it. I see what you did there, Nikki. It's usually 2. You want to send 30 minutes before actual stream start. Okay, so that's when you get your notifications. Hmm. Scrupler? What are you doing in here, man? Did you need some going to sleep music? Because it just so happens we're going to be doing some chill stuff. He's like, turn on your PS5. Give me a code. Abort mission, Scrupler. Abort mission, abort mission. Get out of there. What's the one? There we go. All right. Yeah. We good? Yeah. Well, Ziggy, Scrupler did tag you in that last message. He did tag you in that last message. So you could either sing to him in your baritone voice or you could sing to him in your AI text to speech voice. Maybe Scrupler would like the baritone one better because, you know, you can actually, it actually sounds like a human being. I guess you really have to take your pick on which one you can do right now. Oh, Coastline. Why is that? Why is that not being treated as a song that can be? Oh, I know why. That's weird. I don't know why I have that. Oh, wait. Did I not open this one up? Weird. Okay, I'll add it. There we go. Ah, nice. Let me check my. Oh, I see. I thought I opened up all of the attributes I wanted to open up. Apparently not. Okay. There we go. Now I think all of the ones that I want open have been opened. So we should be good now. Let's see. 2000s. That's open as well. Of course, Violet Eyes didn't work before because I don't have that one in the song list at all. But if you did request something from the 60s to the 2020s, they all should be open now. Let's see. Yep, okay. Yep. Okay, yeah, we should be good now. Oh, Scrooper, so you built the code anyway, huh? Salute to you, Scrooper. Ziggy, you said I put in a Coastline song, and Scroop said, like, I know this song. Then we listened to your version. Yeah, well, hopefully you'll have both versions playing either back to back or you have them somewhere in the playlist instead of just having mine in there. Ziggy, would you like me to read that PSA for you? Ziggy, would you like me to read that PSA for you? Because I got you covered if you'd like me to read it. Just let me know if you'd like me to read that PSA for you, the way that you normally say things. It's the good old fashioned remember to like, share, and subscribe to our dear friend Calvin. He makes music and loves tacos. Absolutely. I did my part for the community. Yep, I did my part. Now, it's all of you's turn. I did my part. Well, Nikki did her part too. She put the PSA command in there a few minutes ago. And then Ziggy, you did yours by putting that PSA message in there as well. Everybody else has got to do their part. Hockey Doll, how you doing? Scroopler, take it easy, man. Enjoy the sleep. I know your eyes in the morning sun. I feel you touch me in the pouring rain. And the moment that you wander far from me, I wanna feel you in my arms again. And you come to me on a summer breeze, keep me warm in your love, then you softly leave. And it's me you need to show how deep is your love. I really mean to learn, 'cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down when they all should let us be. We belong to you and me. I believe in you. You know the door to my very soul. You're the light in my deepest, darkest hour. You're my savior when I fall. And you may not think I care for you, when you know down inside that I really do. And it's me you need to show how deep is your love. I really mean to learn, 'cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down when they all should let us be.
sure let us be. We belong to you and me. I know your eyes in the morning sun. I feel you touch me in the pouring rain. And the moment that you wander far from me, I wanna feel you in my arms again. And you come to me on a summer breeze, keep me warm in your love, then you softly leave. And it's me you need to show. How deep is your love? I really need to learn, 'cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down when they all should let us be. We belong to you and me. Ooh.
Nice. Very nice, even. I want to close my eyes. Can I turn off the morning sun? Yeah. I think I mentioned. I think I was talking, Ziggy. I think I was talking with Sarah about this sometime last week, but the song Morning Sun went through like 5 or 6 different. Yeah, it went through 5 iterations. But the music, the arrangement was still the same. The instrumental part, at least. The chorus was
Da 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 ba da 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 ba da ba da.
and I liked that. That was cool. But ultimately, I ended up settling with, or not settling, but ended up with actually a better set of lyrics.
I can see it. I can see the sun glisten in my eyes.
So it still has the same. The way I sing the lyrics are still pretty similar, with a few changes here and there. Oh shoot! Wait.
I can see it. I can see the sun glisten in my eyes.
Oh shoot! Wait.
I can see it. I can see the sun glisten in my eyes.
Shoot! Now I'm getting the old lyrics mixed up with the new ones. Hold on. Wait. What the heck did I say there? Wait. Shoot. I don't know how I'm forgetting this, but anyway, the lyrics went through a lot of different changes, changes that I can't, for some reason can't remember now.
Da, 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 da.
What the heck? Wait. Ah, there it is. Okay.
Goodbye to pain, goodbye to gray skies.
Yeah, there it is.
I can feel it. I can feel it coursing through my veins. There's no time to waste. Shine on sun, shine until tomorrow.
Yeah, there we go. I had to get that resolved, otherwise my brain wouldn't stop thinking about it. I also wrote, I think I mentioned this to you guys before, but I also wrote a Morning Sun Part 2 and a Morning Sun Part 3. The Morning Sun Part 2, 90% of the song was integrated into The Rush. And then Morning Sun Part 3, I didn't really do much with. I renamed that to the new Part 2, but I didn't really do much else with that tune. I was actually at a point where I was writing sequel songs for all of the other songs that I had written. Like I wrote a sequel song for "Open Up to Me," and I wrote a sequel song for let's see, "Open Up to Me," and then I also wrote a sequel song for. I think I wrote one for Skylights as well, but I'd forgotten it after not playing it for a while. I wrote a sequel song for Legacy. And then there were some ideas that we were playing around with for some of the newer songs, like Movement and Home. And then obviously we've got, you know, all the different variants for Elements. Um, but but yeah, I was in this phase where I was writing a bunch of sequel songs for originals that I'd released, trying to see if I could expand on the ideas further. But some of them really didn't need to be expanded. But the arrangement sounded cool. Another song I wrote, Universal, has a second part as well. Morning Sun becomes Afternoon Rays. Yeah, and then like I guess you really can't do much with the well, I guess you could do something with the evening, maybe like moon. Oh yeah, so Morning Sun becomes Afternoon Rays, and then Afternoon Rays becomes Moonlight Sonata. I should write a song with that song title. Oh, just got a quick email. It says the song's already been written. Okay, never mind. Disregard. But jokes aside, I do want to get back into writing more sequel songs. Mostly just for myself because I like I think that might have also been triggered from playing classical pieces. Like when I was taking piano, um, one of the main song series I was listening to a lot was Eric Satie's Gymnopédie series, and I went back and I listened to the Gymnopédie series a couple of nights ago. Actually, it was Saturday. It was this past Saturday on my way to my late evening gig. I went back and I listened to the entire trilogy, and yeah, it's great. It's great stuff. So I think that might have been inspiration for me writing all these sequel songs. And I wasn't really writing the sequel songs with the intent on releasing them. It was just something fun to do because I also like writing stories and stuff like that. So uh, that was also something that influenced the sequel songs. Anyway, thank you for letting me share that, guys. Let's move on. Ziggy said, "Do it. Just write a song called Moonlight Sonata." There might be a few complaints. AC, you said I was gonna say Beethoven might not like that. Of course, he's sort of gonna have a hard time expressing that. Yeah, it's gonna be kind of difficult for him to be like, "Don't you dare." I'll be like, first of all, Beethoven, you are no longer with us. Secondly, your music is in the public domain. You can't do anything about it now. You can't. What are you going to do? Get royalties off of something in the public domain? Beethoven, I don't know, man. I think you're done for here. You don't have a whole lot to stand on. AC. Oh, okay. So you meant like right, like a series of songs that are based off of like different times. Okay, so morning sun, afternoon rays, and then something like a evening type song. Moonlit, moonlit sonata. Ah, I see, I see. Yeah, that way people will be like, "Is that?" And I'll be like, "Mm-mm, it is not what you think." Ah, I haven't played this in a while. Let's see, I haven't played this. Yeah, I haven't played it in a while.
the sounds of the season and lose all sense of time. I'm moving far away to a sunny place where it's just you and me. Feels like we're in a dream. You know what I mean. The summer air by the seaside, the way it fills our lungs. The fire burns in the night sky. This life will keep us young, yeah, keep us young. And we will sleep by the ocean. Our hearts will move with the tide, and we will wake in the morning to see the sun paint the sky. Oh, I'm moving far away to a sunny place where it's just you and me. Feels like we're in a dream. You know what I mean. I'm moving far away to a sunny place where it's just you and me. Feels like we're in a dream. You know what I mean.
chill. Dingus, good to see you. Very nice, Ziggy. Very nice.
I'm moving far away to a sunny place where it's just you and me. Feels like we're in a dream. You know what I mean.
Cool. Thank you, Ziggy. Thank you, Nikki. Hockey Doll, thank you very much. Scroopler. I do what I can for the community. Trying to sing this in a different key, a lower register. Or sing it in a lower key. Yeah. Let's see. If you like what you hear, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Oh, jeez. I'm getting too good at this. Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to start singing. Let's see. I could probably try singing like a banshee. Maybe that'll put Scroopler to sleep. You think that'll work, Scroopler? If I start screaming like a banshee? Yeah. Now, would I be able to pull that off? I don't know. So I guess, Scroopler, maybe you're going to be up for a while. Nikki. Saying I love you is not the words I want to hear from you. It's not that I want you not to say, but if you only knew how easy it would be to show me how you feel. More than words is all you have to do to make it real. Then you wouldn't have to say that you love me, 'cause I'd already know. What would you do if my heart was torn into more than words to show you feel that your love for me is real? What would you say if I took those words away? Then you couldn't make things new just by saying I love you. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. More than words. La-di-da-da-di-da. Now that I've tried to talk to you and make you understand, all you have to do is close your eyes and just reach out your hand and touch me. Hold me close, don't ever let me go. More than words is all I ever needed you to show. Then you wouldn't have to say that you love me, 'cause I'd already know. What would you do if my heart was torn into more than words to show you feel that your love for me is real? What would you say if I took those words away? Then you couldn't make things new just by saying I love you. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. More than words. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, not bad. I actually haven't played it in that key before, but if I do need to play it a little lower, then yeah, that works. Cool. All right, let's do one more song here, and then we'll hop into the improv stuff. I think I played it. Here we go. Thank you, Ziggy. All right. Let's see. Oh, this one's open. know. Thank you so much for doing that, Nikki.
夜更けの高速で眠りにつく頃ハロゲンライトだけ怪しく輝く氷のように冷たい女だとささやく声がしても Don't worry
Whoa, hold on.
氷のように冷たい女だとささやく声がしても Don't worry I'm just playing games. I know that's plastic love. Pencil and plastic beads. Another morning comes. I'm just playing games. I know that's plastic love. Dancing with plastic beads. Another morning comes. I'm just playing games. I know that's plastic love. Dancing with plastic beads. Another morning comes. I'm just playing games. I know that's plastic love. Dancing with plastic beads. Another morning comes. I'm just playing games. I know that's plastic love. Dancing with plastic beads. Another morning comes. I'm just playing games. I know that's plastic love. I know that's plastic love. Dancing with plastic beads. Another morning comes. Another morning comes. I'm just playing games. I know that's plastic love. I know that's plastic love. Dancing with plastic beads. Another morning comes. I'm just playing games. I know that's plastic love. Dancing with plastic beads. Another morning comes. I'm just playing games. I know that's plastic love. Dancing with plastic beads. Another morning comes. Stay with me. I'm just playing games. I know that's plastic love. Stay with me. Dancing with plastic beads.
Irishaimase.
I'm just playing games. I know that's plastic love. Dance to the plastic beats. Another morning comes. I'm just playing games. I know that's plastic love. Dance to the plastic beats.
All right.
Another morning comes.
Very nice. Yeah, I couldn't think of shoot, kintsugi. I couldn't think of the part that would work.
Kokoro no kakera.
I guess maybe that could have worked if I changed the key a little bit.
Soko kara kuru atatakai hikari kokoro no kakera.
Man, what a great song. What a great song. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the improv stuff, shall we? Oh, Dingus, you added. Okay, let me let's do the improv stuff, and then if we have time, we'll come back for the songs a little later. Oops, why did I put that there? There we go. Okay. Is this up? This on? No, it's not, because the cable's not in. Gonna heat up some dinner, rest my eyes, and try to come in a little more in a little bit. Okay, you got it. You did say that you would probably be able to hang up. I mean, not hang up. I'm sorry. Hang around for a little bit before you had to dip. Hang up. Hang up. What are you calling into the stream, leaving a message like the '80s store owner of the '80s store, filled to the brim with '80s paraphernalia. I got you, Dingus. Yeah, because we were doing a bit of a mashup there. I got you. It's funny because I actually haven't made any dinner yet. I might. I did get some. I did get some meat lasagna. So I might have some of that later on. Yeah, I might have some of that. Correct, Dingus. I did not. Dingus, you're like, how could you not have eaten? You need to get food into your stomach so you won't feel so empty and out of energy for the live stream, so you can play songs for everyone in the chat because they're concerned about your well-being and don't want you to feel completely out of energy. Right, Dingus? yeah, is that what I did, Dingus? I guess he has like an AI text-to-speech voice, huh? All right. So now, let me see. Oh, here it is. Do I have the? And now we begin our improv adventures. There we go. 9,999 years ago, there were 5 lights that shined across the cosmos. These 5 lights were imbued with power that is unimaginable and inexplicable, and is far beyond what could have been cultivated through the human condition. It would take more to understand this power, and it would take more to harness this power. Despite all of this, there were 6 individuals, 6 human beings on this planet in the solar system called Earth that has the ability to harness these powers. The energies make their way to planet Earth, and the energies manifest themselves as towers. The towers become these physical manifestations of energies that we still today know nothing about. However, these 5 human beings have been imbued with the knowledge of said powers. When they try to explain it to anyone else that isn't them, it comes off as gibberish, because the language needed to translate that energy to a standard human being, it doesn't work. That is until they come across one individual who might have the ability to harness all of those powers. The 5 people who possess these amazing, unimaginable powers are as follows: Hockey Doll, Nikki Callie, AC in Tucson, nicknamed AC, sometimes nicknamed ACN, Dingus, and Ziggy in Korea. These 5 human beings have been imbued with the power of the cosmos and the knowledge of the unknown. And one individual has the ability to understand this power and maybe even to harness it. Now, just because all 5 of these individuals have the ability to harness this power does not mean that they are all best friends. They all don't have to just like each other because they all have the same power. You know, like I, for example, could be reading a good book and then I find somebody else who reads the same book as I do. Doesn't mean that we have to be the best of friends. I wouldn't mind it, but the other person might not want much more of me in their life other than the fact that I read the same book as they do, which is understandable. That's fine. There would be questions that these 5 individuals would have, such as, did I get isekai'd? Or, what's my superpower? What power is the cosmos? Sometimes some complaints about outer space, including, space is empty and boring though. Verbatim, you know? the powers themselves allow a lot of different possibilities. Sometimes it gives him the ability to harness elements of Earth, such as fire, water, earth, air, and plasma. That is the ability to transform plasma into lightning, to manifest electricity from their bodies, using themselves as a lightning rod for more electricity, should it show up. Sometimes the energy allows them to manifest weapons. For example, Dingus has been trying to perfect making a longsword that doesn't always fall apart. When he first tried it, he was like, verbatim, "Dang it, what the heck am I doing? This longsword keeps falling apart. I gotta make something that's more stable." And eventually, after some practice, he was able to do it. Ziggy would end up making a mace. It would be a mace with strong reinforced material that's lightweight, but the top of the mace itself that was consisting of poisonous and illuminated needles from an unidentified species that makes the mace look nice and bright green. AC in Tucson, or AC, has a bow staff that can be manifested. Hockey Doll has a plasma cannon. That is, Hockey Doll can take the electricity and then manifest it into a weapon, and that weapon can do some serious damage. And then Nikki Callie has the ability to wield two weapons at once. Nikki's like, "I can dual wield." Yes, Nikki. Yes, you can. Dingus is also working on a dual chainsaw weapon. It's kind of like the Darth Maul lightsaber, but with a chainsaw. A chain and saw. Pretty powerful stuff. And so, the five human beings get more acclimated to this unknown and mysterious power from outer space. And they have over 9,999 years to perfect it. And so, 9,999 years later, in the year 2025, they all sense something, an energy that is similar to their unknown yet mysterious power. Because 9,999 years is still not enough time for them to figure out exactly what the energy is, you know? You would think that that would be enough time for them to find out, but apparently it's still not enough time. But in the year 2025, they realized that there was another individual who could harness this power. They couldn't figure out his name, so they just had to call him the Mystery. These five individuals were a bit curious. They started talking to each other using Microsoft Teams And when that didn't work out, they would use AOL Instant Messenger. And they were a bit concerned that this sixth individual could be a threat. Dingus wasn't worried because he had just finished up his dual chainsaw weapon. After 9,999 years, he finally finished it. So he wasn't concerned. He was fine. Ziggy and AC were a bit concerned, however. They were thinking, what if he uses his power against us? Nikki's like, guys, it's fine. It's okay. We can just talk to him and see what's going on. I don't think any of us have talked to him yet, right? Let's get to know him first. Hockey Doll, on the other hand, with electricity pouring through the weapon that was currently constructed, Hockey Doll says, we have to destroy him. And then everyone else is like, come on, Hockey Doll, why are you being a buzzkill? Let's at least, come on. And Hockey Doll's like, what? I'm just saying, this is a good idea. Is this not a good idea? And then Dingus is like, I'm good. I mean, I'm whatever you guys are doing, I'm good. I'm good for it. And then Ziggy and AC are like, hold on a second. Maybe we should consider what Nikki was saying. Let's talk to him first and see what he's about. And so they all decide, all right, well, what day do you guys want to go talk to him? And then they're like, well, what do you mean, what date? Let's just go now. AC's like, well, we should probably have a day. Not everybody's going to be available at the same time. You know? I mean, it would be kind of like if we're gaming and we're all in different time zones. And then Ziggy's like, yeah, that makes sense. I've done that before. Hockey Doll's like, really? Ziggy's like, nah. I live in the same time zone as you guys. I don't think I'd ever have a reason to do that. And so AC's like, all right, so let's just vote on it. You guys want to go with the beginning of the week, Monday? Or you guys want to meet him on Friday? Dingus and Hockey Doll are like, let's do this on Monday. But then Ziggy and Nikki are like, all right, well, let's do it on Friday. So the deciding factor was AC. Would it be Monday or would it be Friday? AC's like, you know what? I gotta get my hair cut. And then I've got a few other things to do. You know, my mom needs some help with a couple of things. And then Dingus is like, you rarely go see your mom. And AC's like, that's not true. And then everybody else is like, AC, are you sure about that? And he's like, all right. Okay, I'm trying to get better at doing that, you know? It's just work is so tough. And they're like, work? We don't do anything here. What job do we have? And AC's like, all right. You know what? Let's just do this on Friday. And they're like, all right, cool. Friday it is. So they all go back to their own individual towers. Ziggy was like, hey, do you guys want to put your hands in the center? And then we're like, yeah, team. Everybody just gave Ziggy a look like, all right, Ziggy, we're going home. Ziggy's like, whoa, what the heck? What? It's a good idea. It's a good idea, is it not? And then Hockey Doll's like, please don't say that the way I said that earlier. It sounds better coming from me. Please don't frame your sentences like that. That's really something that only I can do. And then Dingus is like, whoa, I didn't know you had a full control over the English language. And everybody laughed pretty hard. Hockey Doll was like, don't laugh that hard. It's not that funny. People are like, yeah. They're all like, yeah, it's kind of funny. So you can tell that all 5 of these special individuals, they mess with each other a lot. And they're not friends, per se. But they respect each other at least. And so they all go back to their own towers. And the thing about these towers is that there are lights that shine from the apex of the buildings, so that everyone around them knows that they are the ones that pretty much, you know, will be the ones to fight against threats. These towers are also not in the same location. They're in their own individual areas, biomes, if you will. So when they go see each other, they have to plan ahead because, you know, obviously they're not in the same area. Which is perfect for the sixth individual because he starts going to all these different locations very quickly. But he doesn't go to the towers. He does go around the different biomes and talk to people, but he doesn't go into the towers yet. And everybody else has been hearing about this guy. Just like the 5 chosen have. So, as the 5 agreed, they would meet with the 6th individual on Friday. However, the 6th individual, the mystery man, the mystery, showed up at Ziggy's tower on a Thursday, and it threw everyone else off guard. When the 5 individuals were talking, they were talking on a Sunday, and they were trying to decide if they should meet with the mystery on Monday or Friday. They all agreed on Friday and went their separate ways. Once Hockey Doll got back to the tower, titled The Tower of Hockey Doll, Hockey Doll was like, I hope we don't run out of free AOL Minute CDs at a critical time for communicating. And then one of Hockey Doll's assistants was like, who are you talking to? And Hockey Doll was like, well, I guess anybody who's willing to listen. It's gotten kind of quiet here. And Hockey Doll has a bunch of assistants. But they don't talk to Hockey Doll unless it's for work. So that was one of Hockey Doll's concerns. But luckily they still have Microsoft Teams, so they should be okay. And if that fails, they can just go with Zoom. So, going all the way back to Thursday, the mystery shows up at Ziggy's tower, and it not only throws Ziggy off, but the other chosen as well. Alright. And so, the mystery shows up at Ziggy's tower. Ziggy's like, halt, who goes there? And then the mystery is like, me. And Ziggy's like, haha, not funny. That's not funny. The mystery is like, so, I heard that you are able to craft your own weapon. Ziggy's like, yes, I can. Why does that concern you? And then the mystery is like, oh, well, I just wanted to know if I could borrow that weapon. And then Ziggy's like, no, that is obviously not something on the table. That's not something that can be done here. And then the mystery is like, okay, well then I'll just take your weapon from you. Some of Ziggy's assistants were wondering if Ziggy would be okay. Ziggy's like, it's fine. Ziggy places a hand up to stop them in their tracks, to keep the assistants from running forward, charging forward, hurting themselves. Ziggy's like, you know what? It sounds like you want a challenge. The mystery nods his head. One of the assistants says, Ziggy, I can do this. I can fight. I can fight him. I can fight him for you. You don't have to worry about it. And then Ziggy's like, first of all, you need to get yourself some hot tea because your voice sounds a bit weird. Secondly, well, I'll be fine. And then the assistant's like, well, what kind of tea should I get? And then Ziggy turns around to the assistant with the shaky voice and says, well, I think you should get some with cinnamon, and then maybe some that has some ginger in it as well. And then the assistant's like, well, how do I find something like that? And then Ziggy's like, well, I've been here for almost 10,000 years. And I'm pretty sure that there's a way to find it. And then the assistant's like, all right, well, I'll keep looking, but I don't know if I'm going to find it. Kind of doubting Ziggy's words, as if Ziggy doesn't know what she's talking about. And then Ziggy's like, do you not understand that I am a professional in, harvesting tea leaves? That's kind of something that I do. And then the assistants were like, well, no, we never heard about any of this. Also the narrator didn't mention this at all, so how would anybody have known? And then Ziggy's like, all right, that's fair. That's fine. So I harvest tea leaves. Meanwhile, the mystery is like, excuse me, Ziggy, do you mind focusing on me? And then Ziggy's like, oh, yeah, sure, my fault, sorry. What are we doing? And then the mystery is like, oh, I'm just going to take your weapon if that's cool. But then there's a notification that goes off on the mystery's watch. And he says, you know what? Maybe another time. And then the assistants are like, Ziggy, you got him now. And then Ziggy's like, wow, I have a lot of assistants that have these really shaky voices. Do you all just need tea? And then it turns out that the assistants were actually new hires, because the assistants that Ziggy remembers were the ones from 9,999 years ago. These new hires showed up early 2025. And so we're still in 2025 right now. We haven't gotten to the present day. And there's a reason for that. Because the notification that goes off on the mystery's watch is telling him to go to the next tower. And so he says, ciao, I'll see you guys later. Maybe even sooner than you think. And the mystery teleports away. Now, Ziggy was wondering, I feel like I just had my time wasted. But the assistants were thinking, well, is there a way that he might come back and harm us? And then the assistant with a shaking voice, the first one at least, was like, I think he might come back later. And then Ziggy's like, okay, I really got to get you some tea, because that's kind of annoying. I have some ginger, I have some cinnamon, I can kind of mix it into a blend and make a nice batch for you, because, geez, your voice sounds terrible. And then one of the other newer assistants says, well, he was born with that voice. And then Ziggy's like, yeah, I know he was born with it, but it's got to go. And so Ziggy turns towards the entrance to the tower, which is where the mystery was standing, and was a bit concerned about what else the mystery had in store. And Ziggy was again concerned about how much time the mystery wasted. He wasted a good amount of their time. Ziggy could have been honing weapon skills, but that didn't happen because the mystery showed up and wanted to try to take the weapon until he had to leave, which is strange. He used whatever resources to get to the tower, but didn't do anything. Very strange. And so the mystery goes to another tower, the Tower of Dingus. As soon as the mystery shows up, Dingus is looking him dead in the eye and saying, I heard you just came from Ziggy's tower. If you plan on doing any nonsense here, it's not going to work. I literally finished up my dual chainsaw weapon this year. I had been spending so many years, almost 10,000 years, working on this project. And I just finished it. And then the mystery is like, well, wait, doesn't that make that a first draft? If you just... And he's like, no, what are you talking about? I've been working on this I've had tons of drafts. And the mystery is like, oh, that's my fault. Sorry. I need to get a little bit more sleep. And so Dingus prepares his weapons, ready for battle. But then a notification goes off on the mystery's wrist device. And then the mystery says, I'm sorry I can't stick around, but I would love to have those dual chainsaw weapons. Dingus is like, dude, after I spent 10,000 years working on this, almost 10,000 years, you think I'm just going to hand it over to you? And then the mystery's like, oh, I understand you're not going to hand it over, but I'm just going to take it from you. And then the mystery teleports away. Dingus was in like, you know what? I can't wait for him to come back, because my dual weapons are going to knock him out. They're going to decimate him. But it was a good thing that the mystery left when he did, because when Dingus did try to start the two weapons, it didn't work. Neither of them did. So he's like, oh shoot, okay. I need to go get some more Energizer batteries. And then the mystery went to the three other towers. The Tower of AC, the Tower of Naked Callie, and the Tower of Hockey Doll. And he basically asked them all, can I have your weapons? They all said no. And he said, okay, well, let me try this again. Your weapons will be mine. Is that better? And then they started to get worried because they realized they had a threat on their hands. However, it hadn't been a whole year since he returned. They were curious. They hadn't seen him an entire year. And so we end up in the present day. The mystery returns with new armor, with a very powerful shield made of indestructible metal and very lightweight metal. And he possessed a blade, a serrated blade. And he was ready to take the weapons of the five chosen. Each of these chosen were preparing themselves for the battle that they had been waiting a year to fight. As the mystery was making his way to the Tower of AC, AC decided, let's get on Microsoft Teams and talk real quick. They were all thinking, what, now? But he's going to be making his way to us soon. And that's why AC was like, that's why we got to get on now. That's why we got to get on now. And they're like, okay, fine, log in. Let's log in. Some of them couldn't remember their passwords because they have password generators that generate random passwords for them. And so some of them will have like passwords that'll be like A, lowercase a, uppercase F, 23, exclamation point, question mark. And then some of them are like, oh man, all right, I got to go back and find my password. Dingus and Hockey Doll in particular had some problems logging into their Microsoft Teams. And Ziggy was like, come on. Rookie move. AC said the same thing. And then Nikki was like, yeah, rookie move. But Nikki didn't mention that she had forgotten her password also. But didn't want to say anything because it would be embarrassing. And then AC was like, hey, Nikki, what? Are you all logged in? You all logged in? And then Nikki's like, well, no, because I had to go grab something real quick. And then Ziggy was like, you forgot your password, didn't you, Nikki? Nikki's like, guys, come on. And then everybody was yelling at Nikki because Nikki was, pretty much berating everyone else for not having their passwords. But then she couldn't remember hers. So they all finally logged into Microsoft Teams. And they decided, okay, so now let's talk. What are we going to do about the mystery? And so Ziggy was thinking, oh, here's my idea. Do you guys want to hear my idea? And then AC was like, well, we all got on the Microsoft Teams to talk about our ideas. So Ziggy, yes, your idea would be something we want to hear, yes. And Ziggy's like, all right, okay, you don't have to be so passive-aggressive about things. I get it. I understand. And then Dingus was like, oh, this is going to get pretty feisty. Somebody give me some popcorn. And then Hockey Doll's like, well, you can't eat popcorn, Dingus. Remember that last time you had popcorn and then one of the kernels got stuck in your throat? Dingus was like, I don't want to talk about that. I just want to get past that part of my life. I'm done with that part of my life. This is a new arc. This is the, learn from my mistakes arc. Or, not rush through my popcorn arc. And then Nikki's like, we're the 5 chosen. We have these energies that could change the world, and we could. I don't like a lot of our conversations. And then AC's like, I'd have to agree with you on some of that, Nikki. Some. And then all of a sudden, they heard this explosion. But they couldn't figure out where it was coming from because they were all on Teams and they all had their SM7B microphones connected. And so there were sounds that were bleeding in, and they were trying to figure out, whose microphone was, where the explosion was and which microphone caught that explosion and where it was the loudest. Yeah. I'm doing my best as a narrator. I'm doing my best. Sometimes English doesn't work out for me. But the explosion actually came from Hockey Doll's location. And so Hockey Doll turned for a second to see what was going on. And it turns out that there was the explosion outside happening again. The mystery was essentially calling Hockey Doll to battle. Dingus was about to throw some more food into the microwave. Dingus had some cold pizza from the night before. But that was interrupted when there were energy beams that were surrounding the tower. And Dingus was like, well, wait a minute. If there's an explosion coming from Hockey Doll's location, the mystery must be there. So then how are these energy beams all surrounding my tower? Is he doing that too? Ziggy was like, well, maybe so, because there are a bunch of poisonous spikes that have been surrounding Ziggy's tower. There are chimeras that are surrounding AC's tower. He's like, ugh, I don't like chimeras. They're coarse and, they get everywhere. And then Nikki's like, I've heard that line before. but I don't know where it came from. And the AC's like, don't worry about it. It's something. It's don't worry about it. It's nothing big. And then Nikki ends up finding out that there's a bunch of sand that's around her tower. It's just surrounding the tower. A lot of thick sand. And then you accidentally step into it, and you start to sink into it. And then Nikki's like, oh, two things. Nikki says. It's quicksand outside my tower. And then the second thing she says is, I'll be back in chat, and we'll try to hang a bit. And then AC's like, what are you talking about? And then Nikki signs off of Microsoft Teams. But only for a little bit, because Nikki will be back and we'll try to hang in a bit. And so it's the other four that try to reach out to Nikki, but they can't because Nikki stepped away. But probably for the best, because Nikki was trying to protect her tower. And so the other four were like, all right, well, let's do the same. But stay on Teams. We need to be able to communicate with each other. Do you guys have mobile? And they're like, well, yeah, I guess. Yeah, we can use the app on our phones, I think. Right? And then Ziggy's like, we should be able to. Have you guys downloaded the app yet? And then Dingus is like, man, I knew I forgot to do something. And AC's like, guys, you don't have the apps on your phone? How are we supposed to talk while all of this is happening? And then Hockey Doll's like, whatever, doesn't matter. Let's just go out there and take care of this now. And Hockey Doll, being the one to immediately want to charge into battle without discussing much else, decides, let's just do it. Let's just go into the battle right now. And so Hockey Doll steps away. But as Hockey Doll is running away, the app is also being installed and downloaded. And then eventually, once Hockey Doll opens up the app, then, you know, the have to put in the username, password, two-factor authentication, all that stuff. And so that's all happening while Hockey Doll is, you know, going from the top of the tower all the way to the bottom, taking the stairs instead of taking an elevator or anything like that. That's installed. There's an elevator installed in the tower. But to pass the time, Hockey Doll goes down the stairs so that everything can finish installing, downloading, and then Hockey Doll can put in the username, password, two-factor authentication, all that stuff. The others decide to copy Hockey Doll's method so that they can also get the app on their phone and do all of the protocols and whatnot before they can actually start using it and communicating with each other. So once all that stuff's done, they all get to the bottom of their own individual towers. And with Microsoft Teams running, they communicate with each other. And Ziggy sees the poisonous spikes outside of her tower and says, this is actually pretty well crafted. I got to give the person credit. I got to give the mystery credit. And then AC's like, don't give him any credit. He's trying to take our energy from us, take our weapons, take our existence from us, Ziggy. And Ziggy's like, that's fair. I get it. I understand that. But, you know, I feel like I should give him some props. And then Dingus is like, jeez, this is going to be a long day. Oh, my God. Ziggy's like, oh, right. I got to use my Wi-Fi. And then Dingus is like, I thought you ended up getting a new router. Ziggy's like, well, I meant to, but I had to get some more, fertilizer because I'm growing some more tea leaves. And then AC's like, are we talking about tea leaves right now? Is that what we're doing? We're talking about tea leaves? And then Ziggy's like, so I had to put it off. Can I just borrow somebody else's router? And then Dingus is like, well, okay, well then you're going to have to come to my tower. I don't think my Wi-Fi router extends that far out. Ziggy's like, all right, that's fair. That's fine. All right. I guess I'll just wait until mine loads. I'll use my mobile data. Or maybe I'll use my hotspot or something. I'll use mobile data. And so the poisonous spikes start to expand. And then they start to electrify a little bit. And the Ziggy's like, wait a minute. The only time I've seen this type of electricity is with Hockey Doll. How is this possible? Going back to Hockey Doll's tower, Hockey Doll sees the mystery right outside and decides to just go and challenge the mystery. So Hockey Doll uses a weapon that was generated from pure plasma. It's modeled after a sword, a laser sword, if you will. And this laser sword collides with the mystery's shield. The shield, being made of this seemingly indestructible metal, is able to reflect and hold itself against that laser sword. But when the laser sword collided with the shield, it created such a powerful energy wave that some of the assistants that were standing behind Hockey Doll were knocked onto their feet. Or knocked onto the ground, excuse me. Off their feet and onto the ground. And then the assistants were like, one of the assistants was saying, you know I have a back problem, right? And then Hockey Doll's like, that's my fault, sorry. But why are you guys standing so close? And the assistant's like, well, we're here to assist. And then Hockey Doll's like, I get it, but why are you standing so close? Back up. Get further back. And so they start backing up, taking a few steps here and there. And then Hockey Doll's like, okay, go further back. Move back more. And they're like, jeez, come on. And then Hockey Doll's like, follow my orders right now. Move back. So they start moving back, taking more steps back. And then the assistant that complained about his back problem, he said, is there anything you're going to be doing about this, Hockey Doll? And Hockey Doll's like, hey, Mystery, can you give me a second? And so Hockey Doll turns to the assistant, and Hockey Doll says, what do you want me to do? What are you trying to say? Just say it. All right? Just come out and say it. What do you want me to do for you? And the assistant's like, nah, don't worry about it. It's fine. I just wanted to know if you had a game plan is all. And then Hockey Doll's like, oh my god, I can't take this. Like, what do you want me to do? Read your mind? And then the assistant's like, no, I'm just wondering, like, is there anything that you're gonna do to help me with my back problem? And then Hockey Doll's like, okay, you know what? I can hire somebody. I'll hire somebody to help you with the situation. I don't know. You maybe get paid leave or whatever. Is that what you want? And then the assistant's like, yeah, that'll do. That's all right. And then Hockey Doll's like, oh man, this is the worst. I have the worst assistants. And then the mystery is like, okay, are you all good to go? Hockey Doll's like, yeah, I'm good. And charges back into battle, rushing towards the mystery. Now, the mystery, if you remember, going back to Ziggy's tower, there were poisonous spikes that were around the tower, but they were also being electrified, and the type of electricity that was used is reminiscent of Hockey Doll's electric powers. So, the mystery used those powers against Hockey Doll. Hockey Doll's like, wait, that's my power. How are you using this? How did you do this? How did you get this power? The mystery's like, don't worry about it. You're asking too many questions. And so he created a plasma ball, and then he released it. And Hockey Doll was able to just catch it with the laser sword. But it was also pushing Hockey Doll back. And Hockey Doll was literally being pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, getting closer to the assistants. The assistants are like, hey, you told us to get back here. Why are you coming all the way back here to us? And Hockey Doll's like, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. This is a powerful attack. So Hockey Doll eventually waves the plasma ball away, and it explodes. And in the sky, there are tiny bits of plasma that fall onto the ground. They disintegrate. And after Hockey Doll was witnessing all of that, Hockey Doll was like, that's my power. And then looks over to the mystery, and the mystery zips over from a couple of feet away where he was in the beginning to right in front of Hockey Doll's face. Hockey Doll tries to block the attack, but it's too fast. The mystery, now witnessing Hockey Doll on the ground, without a weapon, defenseless, and with the new hires, the assistants, not too far from there, unsure of what they're supposed to do. The one with the bad back says, you leave Hockey Doll alone. And then the mystery is like, why are you defending Hockey Doll? You're so concerned about your own well-being. You're not concerned about Hockey. And then the assistant's like, okay, that might be true, but that doesn't mean I want you to hurt Hockey Doll. You know what I mean? And then the assistants just looked at the bad back guy, and he's like, what? I'm just... All right, I'm sorry. I'll shut up. And so the mystery reaches onto takes his hand and places it on Hockey Doll's forehead. And then all of a sudden, there's energy that is stripped from Hockey Doll's body. That energy is the same energy that came from the cosmos 10,000 years ago. In the year 2026, Hockey Doll's powers were stolen. The assistants were still trying to figure out what to do. They didn't know. Some of them might have had a little bit of fighting experience. There was one of the assistants that has a little bit of Taekwondo experience. He's a green belt. But it's not enough. It's not enough to fight the mystery. And so he's like, I don't know what I can do. I'm only a green belt. I don't know if it's going to really help too much if I try to go out there and fight. The mystery, realizing this, says to the assistants, you might want to tell everybody in this entire biome here that their powerful, chosen being is chosen no more. The mystery teleports away, leaving Hockey Doll on the ground, beaten, broken, and battered. Just then, a notification goes off on Hockey Doll's phone. Hockey Doll opens up the app, starts to talk with the rest of the group. Ziggy, Dingus, AC, and Nikki all see Hockey Doll defeated. And they're like, uh-oh. Hockey Doll, what did you do? And Hockey Doll's like, I didn't do anything. I did something. I tried to fight, and it didn't work. And AC's like, that's why you need to have a plan of attack before you start doing these things. And then Dingus is like, yeah, what AC said. Hockey Doll's like, oh, Dingus, what did AC say? And then Dingus is like, well, I'll tell you what AC said. He said, you need to shut up. And then Dingus is going to be like, I'm going to use some not safe for work words if you're ready for them. And AC's like, no, not now. We need to focus on where he's going next. And then they find out where the mystery went next. Next, the Tower of Nikki Callie. And so AC, Dingus, and Ziggy were like, okay, you know what? We might have to fight him in groups. And so AC and Dingus team up, and then Ziggy teams up with Nikki. Ziggy's like, oh, great. Does that mean I have to travel all the way out to Nikki's biome to assist her? And AC's like, oh, what? You don't want to help a fellow chosen? And Ziggy's like, okay, do you not remember what the narrator said early on in the story? The narrator said, just because we all have the same powers doesn't mean we all have to be the best of friends. I think Nikki's cool. I think Nikki's cool. But, I'm not going to go, we're not going to go, grab boba together or grab a panini or whatever. I don't know what Nikki likes to eat. Paninis? I don't know. I don't really want to know Nikki like that. And the AC's like, well, we don't have that luxury anymore. The mystery is not making it easy for us. So we're going to have to change things up. Your move, Ziggy. And Ziggy's like, gah, rats, gah. And then Dingus is like, would you like me to send some NSFW words to your app so that you can have some references? Ziggy's like, nah, I'm good. I don't use those words. And Dingus is like, yeah, okay, well, you're probably going to be using them after this, because with the way things are going, I don't know if the towers are going to be up for much longer. And then Nikki's like, what are you talking about? The towers are just fine. But if you remember way back when I first started talking to you guys, the energies themselves physically manifested into these towers. And so, if the energy leaves the chosen human being, then the tower, in a sense, is no more. And so, the assistants from Hockey Doll were told to move further back. We're now looking at Hockey Doll's situation. Hockey Doll is still on the ground, trying to figure out how that whole fight went down, and why the win didn't go to Hockey Doll. Um, but as that was happening, the tower started to fall apart. It just started to break into little pieces, and then the pieces got bigger that were falling off the building, and then the pieces just got bigger and bigger and bigger until the whole thing collapsed. The only thing that was left were the stairs leading up to an empty platform. And the platform had gotten much, 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 much smaller. Probably about the size of a soapbox. It had gotten so small because there wasn't enough energy left to support it. The only thing that was left were probably the residuals. Hockey Doll's like, alright. I should probably get up and do something. And the assistant with the bad back is like, I can't really bend down and help you get up. So maybe somebody else can do it. And the guy with the green belt in Taekwondo, he's like, I can. And then I guess he's just waiting for permission for somebody to tell him. So somebody does. Okay, go help Hockey Doll. Okay, so he goes over and then helps Hockey Doll get back on, stand up. And so Hockey Doll's like, oh, this is not good. And so the mystery ends up at Nikki Callie's tower. But Ziggy also appears there and is thinking, you know what? It's a 2-on-1. 2-on-1. There is no possible way that we could lose this fight. The mystery, on the other hand, says, I think there's a way you guys could lose the fight. Yeah, I could just be absolutely stronger than you. And then Ziggy's like, take that back. Take it back right now. Nikki's like, don't let him tempt you. All right? Don't let his words get to you. That's what he wants. Ziggy's like, right. Yeah. Yeah. And so another fight begins where it's Ziggy and Nikki versus the mystery. Also, hey Bert, how you doing? Wish I could stay longer, but I need to run along for a bit. Sounds good, man. Well, thanks for hopping in for a little while. So now Ziggy and Nikki are fighting against the mystery. Meanwhile, Dingus and AC are trying to figure out what they can do on their end, because they're going to be tag teaming, because they know the mystery is probably going to try to fight them too. And so AC is thinking, we need to have some type of... There needs to be a red herring that we can have the mystery follow. And then while he's following this, then he'll get distracted, and once he finally realizes what's going on, it'll be too late, and we'll be able to attack him by surprise. Dingus is like, that's cool. That means I get a chance to use my dual chainsaws. AC is like, I get that your project is, this is your life's work. But do you have anything else you can lean on in case those weapons don't work? And Dingus got insulted, really, because he's like, what are you talking about? Of course they're going to work. I spent 10,000 years working on this. Why would you think that they wouldn't work? And then AC's like, okay, you know what? I didn't know that it was a bit of a personal thing. I didn't know that it was. I didn't know you were going to take that personally. So that's sorry. That's on me. Don't worry about it. I'm sure the weapons will work. And Dingus started smiling again because he knew that his weapons would work. He knew they would work. Why would he need anything else? Dingus, you're out? Okay. And so Ziggy and Nikki prepare for the fight against the mystery. fight begins. Ziggy is armed with a mace. And Nikki is armed with a weapon known as a glaive, which is a bow staff with a blade on it. It's a single-edged curved blade mounted on a 6 to 7 foot wooden shaft. Ziggy has notifications that go off, sometimes of her favorite TV shows. One of them was a TV show called Captain Planet, and then Nikki was like, "Are you really having that play right now?" And Ziggy's like, "Oh, sorry. Let me just shut this off real quick. Sorry about that." But they were all told to keep Microsoft Teams open. And so Ziggy and Nikki, with their weapons, both charge at the Mystery. The Mystery drops his shield, which is made of seemingly indestructible metal, and is very lightweight, but yet he tosses the shield. Suddenly, he starts to split into copies of himself. And then Nikki says, "Did he just copy himself?" Ziggy says, "No. Those are all his after images. He's somewhere else. We have to look for him." And so Ziggy and Nikki were both looking around the battlefield, trying to figure out where he went. All of a sudden, they look up, and then they see the Mystery about to do an attack from the sky. Ziggy and Nikki both shadow step away, and then the Mystery just missed his attack on the two of them. Ziggy then throws her mace over to Nikki, and then Nikki throws her glaive over to Ziggy. And after doing some cool posing, the two rush into the Mystery. They're able to get hits in. Ziggy, using the glaive, was able to pierce the left arm of the Mystery. And then, using the mace, Nikki is able to slam it right into the right arm of the Mystery, damaging some bone in the process. The Mystery is obviously in some pain, but refuses to show it to indicate that he's not afraid of the Chosen. And then Nikki throws the mace back over to Ziggy, and then Ziggy throws the glaive back over to Nikki. And then Nikki takes the glaive and starts to do a wide sweeping attack. Nikki was like, "You know what? Let's just go ahead and take his head." And so the wide sweeping act was commenced, but the Mystery just dodges the attack. So he still has a head. But then after he gets back into position, he turns and he realizes that he's too late to react to Ziggy's attack. Ziggy jumps from one of the elevated stones that had been not too far from Nikki's tower, jumps off of that, and then does a slam attack onto the left arm of the Mystery. And so that left arm is now out of commission. And Nikki's like, "We got him now! We got him now!" And Ziggy's like, "Don't get ahead of yourself. We still have to make sure that he is completely out of commission." And Nikki's like, "Oh yeah, my fault. Yeah, yeah, of course, of course. Yeah, sure." And then Nikki's like, well, why are you taking this happy moment from me? And Ziggy's like, I'm not trying to take the happy moment. It's just that you're getting ahead of yourself. And then Ziggy and Nikki start arguing because Ziggy was like trying to make sure that the fight was still going in their direction, still going and working in their favor. And Nikki's like, I just need this little bit of happiness right now. Do you mind? Are you really trying to take this from me? And Ziggy's like, come on, don't do this, not now. And then Dingus and AC hear the conversation through Microsoft Teams. And then they're like, what's going on? Why are you guys arguing? What's happening? And then Nikki's like, we got some really good hits on the mystery. And then Ziggy's like, oh, don't get ahead of yourself. We still have to win this fight. We have to make sure he's out of commission. And then Nikki's like, I just wanted to enjoy that little win. Can I have that little win? And then AC and Dingus are like, I don't know what we can say here. Maybe you two should handle this. And then Dingus is like, well, wait a minute, AC, you've been doing a lot of the delegating. Why don't you go ahead and just delegate? And AC's like, it's not like I want to, but I'm the one that usually has the best decisions out of all of us. And then everybody's like, whoa, hold on a second. What the heck is going on? Jeez, what is this? What is happening? And then, so they're all arguing, and then the mystery is brushing himself off. He's mending he's mending his left arm. He's pretty much repairing the damages. And then Ziggy's like, whoa, Nikki, hold on, time out. Look at what he's doing. And they see him repairing himself. Now, he's using some elements to pull this off. As I mentioned, the energy that the Chosen have allow them to either manifest weapons from the base energy that they're composed of, or they can use elements of Earth, such as fire, water, earth, or air, or plasma, to manifest that and weaponize it. What he's doing is he's cauterizing his wound using the power of fire, and then he is sealing the wound with water, and he's using earth to seal it as well. Through the process of mud and things of that nature. Being able to enhance the power of the nutrients and the soil to, heal the wound. And he's like, how am I doing this? Don't worry about it. And Ziggy was like, wait, how are you doing this? And then Mystery's like, did I not just tell you not to worry about it? And then Nikki's like, he's got a point. He did say don't worry about it. And then Ziggy's like, Nikki, will you stop? Will you stop, all right? Will you stop? And Nikki's like, all right. Sorry, I'm just a bit sour because you didn't let me have that win earlier. So I guess now we both lost something. And then AC's like, jeez, what the heck is wrong with you? Come on, guys. Get a grip. Yeah. Hockey Dog calls in, gets back into the session, the Microsoft Teams session, and says, you do realize that the mystery is causing wasted time again to his advantage. And they said, Hockey Doll, do you know how to speak? And Hockey Doll says, yes, I do. Yes, I do know how to speak. I just wanted to make sure that I said everything verbatim. And then, so the mystery is like, so, can we continue? AC is like, be on your guard, guys. Do not let him win. And so the mystery starts to power up. And he has energy surrounding his body. Ziggy and Nikki then both stand back to back, because they also see that the energy has caused him to make these energy manifestations of his body. And so they start to charge him. And so Ziggy, back to back with Nikki, they start attacking the energy manifestations. Ziggy is doing calculated sweeps with her mace, and then Nikki is doing wide sweeps with the glaive. Doing spinning motions with the glaive as well, piercing some of the energy manifestations, throwing the glaive towards one, and then summoning it back. Ziggy was like, wait, Nikki, did you also make the sound when the glaive came back to you? And then Nikki was like, yep. It was like, and Ziggy's like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Nikki's like, come on, are you really going to try to take more fun out of this? Ziggy's like, nah, don't worry about it. You do your thing. And so they beat the energy manifestations, but the mystery is nowhere to be found. That is until they look up in the sky and the mystery does another ground, slam attack. And so Ziggy and Nikki both move out of the way again, and the mystery misses. Just barely misses them. And then Nikki says, wait, didn't he try that attack before? Why is he doing it again? Ziggy's like, well, he seems like the kind of guy that would keep trying that same thing until it worked. And they were right, because he jumped up in the air again, and he tried another slam attack. And they're like, okay, we're just going to keep dodging this. But then all of a sudden, he jumps in the air again, another time, and they're like, come on, man, really? Now you're just being predictable. But then it actually works. Ziggy and Nikki don't move out of the way. And the reason why they don't move out of the way is because they've gotten ahead of themselves. They're like, okay, well, now we don't have to move. Now we don't have to move until super late. But they didn't move until super late because they got distracted thinking of something else, and then they lost their focus. And so they ended up getting hit. They ended up getting knocked to the ground. And so the mystery's like, yes, I finally got it. I finally made this technique work. This is great. All right, now we can do it again. And so he jumps up in the air one more time to do the slam attack. And the AC's like, would you guys, okay, focus. He's doing this again. And so Ziggy and Nikki, they actually decide to jump into the air and to meet him in the sky. And he's like, oh, wait, I didn't expect this. So the mystery zips out of the way, and Ziggy and Nikki end up bumping into each other, and then they fall to the ground again. And then Dingus is like, well, I'm glad I started working. I'm glad I'm working with you, AC. AC's like, that's not nice. That's not nice. And so Ziggy and Nikki are like, all right, we got to make this work. We got to win this battle. And so what do? They swap weapons again. And so they go charge. They charge the mystery. But then, out of the blue, the mystery summons a plasma cannon. And they're like, wait, what? And then, out of the blue, there's all of this power that's being sent into the plasma cannon. And before Ziggy and Nikki have a chance to step away to avoid the blast is released from the cannon. And the blast radius is so wide that it cuts through the tower of Nikki Callie. And it heads further into the biome, damaging some cabins, killing a few people, damaging some of the mountainous region. It's a powerful blast. Ziggy and Nikki were able to avoid some of the blast. But it wasn't enough to keep them on their feet. That blast knocked them out of commission. Hockey Dog got back on Microsoft Teams and says, "Ooh, I don't like how that turned out. It's like when two outfielders try to catch the same ball." And then Dingus is like, you know what? Yeah, it is like that, isn't it? AC's like, Ziggy, Nikki, respond. But they were out of commission. And so, the mystery walks over to Ziggy and Nikki. And he takes his palms, including the palm on his left arm, which has been completely healed. And he takes both palms. Left palm goes on Ziggy's forehead. Right palm goes on Nikki's forehead. And he steals their power. However, when he was using the plasma cannon, that plasma cannon was only something that Hockey Dog could do. So how was he able to use that? Anyway, he stole Hockey Dog's power. That's how. And so now he has the power of Ziggy and Nikki. And he rebuilds the special mace that Ziggy used and the special glaive that Nikki used. And he channels his own energy into it. Changes each of the mace's color scheme, to where now it is a black and gold combination for both weapons. So now he is dual wielding a mace and a glaive. And he says, I know another dual wielder. Looks like I'm going to have to go see him now. Dingus is like, oh, that's me. I'm the dual wielder. That's me. And AC's like, Dingus, did you really have to respond like that? Dingus is like, well, yeah, I mean, I'm the only one. I should be proud of being the only dual wielder out of the 5 of us. I know I'm proud. And the AC's like, you do realize that he's going to try to kill you. And then Dingus is like, no, he's not, because he didn't kill Hockey Doll. AC's like, yeah. Yeah, why didn't he kill Hockey Doll? And so he tries to talk to Ziggy and Nikki again, and they finally respond after waking up. They realize that their skin is a bit more pale than usual, and it looks exactly like Hockey Doll's overall skin, because the energy was stripped from them. And so, right in front of Nikki's eyes, the tower falls apart. And then Ziggy switches to a screen of a drone that's above her tower and sees that collapse as well. The assistants weren't in the tower. They were standing right outside of it, and they're like, oh, shoot, that's not good. And so the assistant with the shaky voice, he's like, oh, the tower's coming down. And then the other assistants are like, did you ever drink that tea? And he's like, nah, no. Huh? No. It's been too busy. And they're like, well, let's just go ahead and see if we can make some more for you. And so that tower is down as well. So the only towers that remain are the ones from Dingus and from AC. And the mystery is making his way to AC's tower as well. AC's like, Dingus, you need to come here. And Dingus is like, well, my tower's left defenseless. And then AC's like, dude, nobody's going to come after your tower. He's going to be fighting us. You'll be fine. And Dingus is like, did you not see what happened with Ziggy's tower and Nikki's tower? They both collapsed because the energy's gone. And then AC's like, well, they're not going to defeat you. And Dingus is like, what are you talking about? AC says, you're the only one that can dual wield weapons. If I can't beat him, you're the only one who can stop the mystery. And Dingus is like, why are you putting all that responsibility on me? We all have the power that came from the cosmos. And AC's like, I understand that, but you're the only one who can do this. And so Dingus realizes the weight that's been put on his shoulders, and he says, all right, I'll do what I can. And so now, after being able to fly across the water at super speed, and with the ability to have a green thumb and make some pretty good tea leaves, another skill that he stole from Ziggy, he heads over to the Tower of AC, where he meets AC and Dingus, prepared for battle. bursts of energy appear in the sky. Each of the towers exists on their own biome. But outside of that entire radius of biomes, there exists a small village. Hey! Hi, Lady Nikki, good to see you. We're just doing some improv adventures. Good to see you. Oh, you said nice shirt, thank you. Gotta bring this back, you know? So, bit of a recap, yes? There were 5 instances of energy that came from the cosmos and made their way to planet Earth, where 5 human beings were chosen to wield their powers. The energies manifested themselves into giant towers that were in 5 different biomes across the planet. Or at least that wasn't the initial intent. 10,000 years ago, they were all pretty spread out across the planet, but they were eventually brought closer together over a 10,000 year period. So now they're in one main area, but in 5 different biomes. And it makes you wonder how the different instances of weather battle with each other when all of these towers are so close. Some of them, one particular biome is the biome of snow. One is a biome of fire. One is a biome that is in the sky. But outside of that range, there exists a small village. And there's a being in a cloak that is chosen to deliver the message to the 5 chosen. So this person is known as the messenger by the villagers. The messenger, with the cloak over her head, turns to her fellow villagers and waves and says, bye, bye, bye. And they're all like, bye, bye, bye. And so after that, goes back into cool mode. Flies away. The messengers saying aloud while flying, I have to find the chosen and deliver this message to them immediately. And then the villagers were like, is she talking to herself again? And the villagers were like, well, yes, but we're just going to say it's thinking out loud so that other people can hear. The messenger sees the wreckage from the Tower of Hockey Doll and just passes the Tower of Nikki Callie and assumes that the Tower of Ziggy had also suffered the same fate. And so, the messenger heads over to the Tower of Dingus. Doesn't find Dingus there, but finds exactly what she's looking for. This is known as the core. And the core is essentially a stabilizer for a powerful weapon that can be used against imminent threats. That's not the message that the messenger was going to deliver, but it's a nice bonus to give to the chosen. The messenger is about to leave Dingus's tower, but then one of the assistants says, do you have time to talk? And then the messenger's like, no. And then the assistant's like, can you make time? The messenger's like, what? No, I can't. I've got somewhere to be. And then the assistant's like, I understand, but I really need to talk to you about this. And then the messenger's like, all right, fine. What is it? What do you need to talk to me about? The assistant's like, can you help me set up my game console? And then the messenger's like, don't do this to me. You're essentially wasting my time. You're using my time for this. And the assistant's like, I'm trying to hook this up. Look, I have a classic game console and it needs to use RCA cables, but I don't know what the heck, where to get them. And then the messenger's like, don't you have a Radio Shack near you? And then, no, says the assistant. The assistant said the only thing that we had was a Circuit City, and that's been gone for a couple of years now. 2 years. And then the messenger's like, do you not realize that Circuit City's been around ever since? Circuit City's been around for over 9,999 years. 9,998 years. And then the assistant's like, yeah, it closed in 2024. And the messenger's like, ah. So the messenger, with her backpack, takes the backpack off, opens up the backpack, and then has a couple of cables to work around not having an RCA cable. And then after jerry rigging the assistant's setup, the assistant's like, oh, that's pretty cool. Do you normally do stuff like this? And then the messenger's like, well, yeah, I mean, this is my side job. While I'm not being the messenger 6 days out of the week, one of those days I work at a tech and hardware store. And then the assistant's like, wow, that's pretty good. Thank you for helping me with this. Have you ever played Streets of Rage? And then the messenger's like, I can't stay. I've got somewhere to be. Enjoy your game. Enjoy your game. And then the assistant's like, can I ask you a question? The messenger's like, no, you may not ask me a question. And then the assistant's like, but I raised my hand. The messenger doesn't want to be rude. The messenger has somewhere that, the messenger has somewhere to be, but also doesn't want to be rude. So the messenger's like, fine. What is your question? What is your question? Can you make it quick, please? I gotta go. The assistant says, I'm trying to figure out how I can, port this to my computer. Do you know how to do that? And the messenger, again, doesn't want to be rude. The messenger has somewhere to be, but also doesn't want to be rude. So the messenger is like, all right, give me a second. So the messenger takes off her backpack again and helps him port Streets of Rage to his computer. And he's like, thank you very much. I'm trying to build my own emulator, and I want to get better at it. Do you know of any places I can go to learn about this? And then the messenger's like, you realize this is going to take up more of my time. The assistant says, I understand that, but I just had a quick question, and I hope you can help me answer this. I wouldn't want you to feel like you're a bad person and all. And the messenger doesn't want to be rude. The messenger has somewhere to be, but also doesn't want to be rude. So the messenger decides to show him a couple of sites that would help him eventually be able to build his own emulator and play Streets of Rage on his computer. And all of that pretty much took an hour. All that took an hour. So the messenger was actually not too far from the Tower of AC, where the fight is currently happening between AC, Dingus, and the Mystery. But the messenger was a bit held up because the messenger, again, didn't want to be rude. Had somewhere to be, yes, but didn't want to be rude. So the messenger stayed behind, and she helped the assistant get his gaming situation taken care of. Once everything was finally done, the messenger was starting to make her way out. And then the assistant raised his hand one last time, and the messenger said, I can't help you. I can't help you. And then the assistant's like, but you can help me. You can help me. And he was interrupting her the entire time because he knew that he could help, that she could help him. And she's like, God, okay, fine. What do you want? And he's like, should I go for a red dragon? And then the messenger's like, do what you want. And then the messenger leaves. The messenger was a bit rude, but the messenger had somewhere to be. The assistant was like, do you feel like a bad person not helping me? And the messenger's like, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You work for Dingus? Really? Does Dingus really hire people like this? And then the assistant was like, no, but he also didn't know that I was getting hired. So how would he have known that I would have acted this way? He probably wouldn't have known. The messenger was tired. And she didn't even get to deliver the message yet. She was already tired, wanted to go home. But she knew she had a job to do, so she took off her backpack, opened it up, pulled out a Celsius, chugged the whole thing, put the backpack on her back, flew away, went to the Tower of AC. So, the messenger finally makes it to the Tower of AC, and has to get caught up on everything because the messenger spent an hour helping that assistant. Hearing things like, "Can you help me set up Streets of Rage? Have you ever played Rystar? Do you know about the game Double Dragon? Do you know about DNF Duel by any chance?" And also helping with things like, "Yes, I did try to turn it on and off again, but it just didn't work." You know, stuff like that. So AC and Dingus give the messenger a quick recap. So an hour ago, the mystery shows up with two weapons in hand. A mace in the left hand and a glaive in the other hand. And he says, "Hello, gentlemen. I hope you don't mind if I take your powers from you." And then Dingus is like, "We do mind." And then AC's like, "Why did you respond to that? That's so cheesy." And then Dingus is like, "Hey, I'm not trying to ruin your fun." AC's like, "All right, that's fair." But you don't find that weird, though? And then the mystery just charges right at them. And so AC puts his guard up and blocks the attack. But it's pushing him back a little bit, pushing him back. Dingus is like, "AC, are you okay?" AC's like, "Go around the back. Hit him from behind." And so Dingus is like, "You got it." And so he drops his dual weapons on the ground, fully exposed. And then he goes around and tries to hit the mystery from behind. But then the mystery turns around and says, "Nice try." And then he blasts him with a plasma attack. And he says, "You know what? I know Hockey Doll had these plasma powers, but Hockey Doll is stupid. I can use these powers so much better than Hockey Doll can." And the Dingus said, "You better take that back. Take it back right now." And then the mystery says, "No." And then he fires another plasma attack at Dingus. Continuous blast at Dingus. And Dingus is he's blocking them, but it's pushing him back. He's trying to push forward, but it's not enough. And then AC decides to summon his weapon. It's a longsword. So he finally summons a longsword and powers it with fire. It's surrounded by fire. And so he starts to swing it at him, doing wide, uncalculated swings to throw the mystery off balance. And then the mystery jumps back a little bit, tries to collect himself. But then the longsword is powered up again, and there are giant bodies of fire that surround it. And so AC raises the blade while it's surrounded by fire, and then he brings the weapon down. The attack is enough to do some serious damage to the mystery. Dingus is then like, "All right, let's get him." But then he realizes that he dropped his dual weapons where AC is, which is a couple of feet away. And he's like, "Shoot, I gotta go back for my weapons." And so he runs over to get the weapons. But then, as soon as he picks them up, he realizes that the mystery teleported over to him. And then AC's like, "Dingus, no!" And just as Dingus is about to get beheaded, honestly, by the glaive that's in the mystery's hand, AC zips over there. Dingus is like, "Oh, shoot." But then AC takes the hit for Dingus. And the glaive goes right through AC's chest. Dingus is like, "No, man! No!" And AC is like, "You remember what I said? You remember what I said earlier?" And then Dingus is like, "Yeah, you said if anything happens to me, I'm the only one who can beat the mystery." And then AC's like, "Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't say it like that. I said it with a little bit more energy, but yeah, sure." I mean, yeah, sure. And then Dingus is like, "How am I supposed to recreate the way you said it? I was busy doing something else. Like, do you want me to go back and listen to did you record your voice on the Teams call?" And then AC's like, "Well, no, I didn't. How would I do that? Isn't that kind of weird if I'm recording because then that means I'd probably have to, wouldn't I record your voice too?" And then the mystery's like, "Wait, so AC, Dingus, are you two arguing while AC, you have the blade of the glaive stuck in your chest, and you're arguing with Dingus. Is that what's really going on right now? And then Dingus is like, you can tell what our what our priorities are. Obviously, the mystery's like, all right, give me a minute. I need to process this. Um, which is interesting because AC should be the one processing things because he's the one that got stabbed in the chest. So he starts to remove the blade, the entire glaive from his chest, and he starts to fall back a little bit. But Dingus catches him, and then moves him over to the base of the tower. AC's like, we have to win. Dingus is like, well, yeah, I know that much. And AC's like, come on, man, can't you just? All right, can you? Where are your weapons? Dingus is like, oh yeah, I didn't pick them up. I didn't pick them up because the mystery was about to attack me. I'll go over there and get him now. And so AC is like, all right, fine. And so he takes his long sword, which had been imbued with the power of fire, but then he doesn't hold it from the hilt and where the blade is pointing upward. He switches the position of the weapon, and he holds it to where the sword is facing downward. He has the hilt up here, the sword's facing down here. He takes the sword and he treats it like it is a javelin, and then he throws it towards the mystery. The mystery, with the ability of high perception, catches the weapon from its hilt. He moves back a little bit so that the blade won't pierce his head, and then he grabs the hilt like so. AC's like, man, this guy's too good. How'd you even do this? How are you this strong, man? The mystery's like, should I tell you? And then AC's like, well, I mean, yeah, if you don't mind. Yeah, that'd be great. How are you getting this? How are you this strong, man? I'm just curious. I mean, I'm probably on the verge of death, so I feel like I deserve to know this. And so the mystery's like, do you have your team's call open? And then AC's like, yeah, I think so. Let me check. Yeah, the session's still going. But I paid for the premium service, so, I wouldn't have to worry about it shutting off, And then the mystery's like, oh, good. Good. You might want to have somebody cancel your credit cards and all that stuff once you pass away. AC's like, haha, that's not funny, man. That's not funny. And then the mystery's like, I think it's funny. I'm laughing at it. So apparently, someone thinks it's funny. And then AC's like, haha, you're being a smart aleck. I see. All right. Well, once I get enough energy to go back over there and fight you, you won't be making comments like that. And Dingus is like, he ran back over. He said, I got my dual weapons. The mystery's like, make sure you max out the volume on your team's session, your team's call, because I want everybody to hear this. And so, with the volume maxed out, AC, Dingus, Ziggy, Nikki, and Hockey Doll are all able to hear why the mystery is so strong. They already know that he is one of the chosen that can use the energy. But there were only 5 instances of energy that came to Earth and built those towers. So how is he able to use not only power like theirs, but also powers that are exactly theirs? Back in 2025, he mentions, the mystery says that he first went to Ziggy's tower, and he was asking if he could take the weapon from Ziggy. Ziggy's like, nope, 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 nope. We're not having that. But then there was a notification that went off on his wrist device, on the mystery's wrist device. And it told him, go to the next tower. And so he teleported away. He then went over to the tower of Dingus and tried the same thing. That didn't work. And so he went over to AC's tower and Nikki's tower and Hockey Doll's tower. And so what he was able to do was slowly over the course of 9,999 years, absorb bits and pieces of their energy. Because while the 5 had the ability to use the powers from the cosmos, he has the ability to feed off of the energy as if he were a leech, a virus. And so he's essentially stealing their power from them as if he were a leech stealing the blood of its host. And so the powers that they were using weren't actually the powers at their peak. If they had been fighting the mystery 9,999 years ago, then the power would be at its peak. But they were only using the remnants of what was left. And so the mystery was able to use all of their powers against them. And he also knew all of these chosen individuals. And they're like, well, how do you know? At the same time, Ziggy and Nikki decided to just go over to where AC and Dingus was. Hockey Doll was also going to do the same. Because as much as they were okay with talking to each other on the Microsoft Teams call, they were also all using their mobile data, And so, they all have different data plans. It's not going to be the same as AC's, So they were like, let's just go over to where he's at. And so as they're making their way over there, the mystery tells them, yeah, I know all of you. And Dingus would be like, well, of course you know all of us. We all have the power from the cosmos. We kind of know each other just from destiny alone. And then the mystery is like, please let me finish, if you don't mind. I know all of you because, well, I used to work for all of you. And so the reason why there have been so many new assistants for Dingus and Ziggy and Hockey Doll and Nikki Callie and AC is because all of the previous assistants were wiped out as a parting gift from the mystery. AC was like, well, how come we don't remember this? The mystery was like, well, I was able to wipe your memory. And Dingus is like, this guy's getting a lot of powers that we don't know much about. I'm pretty sure the viewers or listeners probably didn't even know that he had that kind of... It wasn't referenced at all. So how... Where did this power come from if it wasn't even referenced before? And then AC's like, you make a good point there, Dingus. The narrator did not talk about this ability to wipe people's memories. And so AC, jumping back out of the fourth wall, back into the story, AC says to the mystery, you're going to have to explain how you were able to get those powers. The mystery then says, okay, not a problem. The mystery then removes the cloak that he was wearing, and he reveals more of the armor that he had refined from a year ago. He also reveals his true name. He is nicknamed the Virus of Time, but he gave himself a nickname to relate to the assistants and to the Chosen. He gave himself a name. Ziggy and Nikki and Hockey Doll all appear, and they see AC is injured. And so Nikki decides to help him using some of her Earth abilities. They also learn of the mystery's true name. His name is Scrupler, the Virus of Time. He has the ability to travel through time for only 6 seconds. So I guess about the same amount of time for like a vine, and then to change that piece of time. But he can't go any further back. The messenger finally gets caught up with everything and witnesses the truth. The messenger then tells them that the Virus of Time had been a rumor that had been spread across the 5 biomes for years. But they didn't think that it was actually a thing. They're unsure as to where the virus of time came from, but now they know what its form looks like. The virus of time, aka Scrupler, then summons the 5 weapons of the Chosen: the long sword imbued by fire, the mace, the glaive, the plasma cannon, and the dual-wielded blades that Nikki has the ability to summon. All these weapons would be surrounding him almost as if they were planets moving in orbit. He powered them up using Hockey Doll's plasma ability. And then, just as he sent the weapons over to destroy the Chosen, the messenger steps in the way, and the cloak that was covering her face is removed. And Ziggy's like, wait a minute. You're the messenger. And the messenger's like, yeah, I'm sorry I didn't say my name or anything when I got here. I was just trying to play catch up. It's kind of like if you're, you step away from a Discord chat and you come back 3 hours later and you see like 300 messages. I just wanted to get caught up. And they're like, okay. You guys still use Discord? And they're the 5 Chosen are like, yeah, we still use it. Why wouldn't we? What do you want to see? I mean, we can use Gilded if you want. And the messenger's like, no, it's fine. Discord's good too. Discord's fine. I was just curious because I haven't used it in a long time. And then Hockey Doll's like, I don't know why that sounded like you were bashing us for using Discord. And the messenger's like, no. I'm sorry if it sounded like that. It's sometimes I don't know. It's just kind of weird, the way I say things sometimes. I apologize. I didn't mean to make it sound like that. And so, but then the messenger turns back to hold her shield, her energy shield, to block the weapons. The weapons are then returned back to the mystery, and the mystery is like, what is your name, messenger? The messenger says, well, my name's Nikki. And then Nikki's like, wait, are you from the future? Are you me? And then the messenger says, no, your name is Nikki, as in N-I-C-K-Y. My name is Nikki, as in N-I-K-K-I. It's nice to meet you. And then the other Nikki's like, yeah, nice to meet you as well. And so the messenger takes the energy shield and pushes it further towards the mystery. And the mystery is like, oh, this power I haven't seen before. I should probably be careful. Meanwhile, the messenger, Nikki, says, can you just call me by my title, the messenger, just so that we don't get things mixed up? And they're like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's cool. That's fine. Yeah. Why do you have that shield on you, by the way? I can change my backpack into a shield. It's kind of modeled after my favorite game. And then Dingus is like, I already know what your favorite game is. I already know. I used to play a lot of Sonic the Hedgehog in my day. And then Nikki was like, no, that's not it. It's something else. It's sometimes they call me Hailey and Nikki because they see the stuff that I collect, and then they're like, oh wow, that's pretty neat. But then one guy's like, I don't like your collection's kind of lame. I don't know if you can take a look at my collection. It's a lot better than what you have. So I'm always competing with him. But you guys can just call me the messenger if you want. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. That's cool. That's cool. The messenger's got a nice ring to it. The messenger. It's got a nice ring to it. And then the mystery's like, these guys, you guys aren't very bright. And then they all get defensive. They're all like, hey, whoa, that's not nice. Why are you saying that about us? And then the mystery's like, I'm just saying, you guys are not the brightest bulbs in the box that you get from Walmart. The box of 4 bulbs, 4 bulbs. Sometimes you can get 6. But I'm not in that box because I'm smarter than you guys. And they're all like, come on, man, don't do that. And so the messenger's like, oh right, I have a message to deliver to you guys. And they're like, oh okay, there's the message. There's the message. What's the message? And then the messenger says, 9,999 years ago, in order to make sure that the energies have one last failsafe, they left it in the hands of my villagers. Because if it were in the hands of you guys, no offense, you guys would probably misuse the powers or whatever. And they're like, oh, come on, not you two. You're making fun of us too? And then the messenger's like, no, I'm not. But there's a reason why the fail-safe option isn't with you guys, if you know. And so the fail-safe option is that you guys have to activate the weapon. And they're like, what's the weapon? Well, you guys have a little bit of energy left, right? And they're like, well, yeah, we can kind of, like AC, for example, summons a little flame. And then the messenger's like, that's good enough. You need to channel the powers of the elements you can harness and summon the weapon. And so the 5 get their elements together and summon the weapon. The powers of fire, water, earth, air, and plasma are all combined, and they summon the weapon. Dingus is like, wait a minute, there's something that goes here. Messenger's like, I got you covered. And then pulls the core out of her backpack. She then throws the core over to the group, and they're all trying to like catch it, like, whoa, 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 but they keep missing it. They keep dropping it on the ground, trying to pick it up and stuff like that, but they keep dropping it. And Messenger's like, okay, guys, you got this. Just pick it up. And eventually Ziggy picks up the core, puts it into the weapon. AC's like, on my command. And so they power up the weapon, and then just as the mystery is like, you all suck, the messenger lowers the energy shield, steps out of the way, and then the 5 fire the weapon's giant laser beam at the mystery. It just completely envelops the mystery. He's like, no, no! Why did I have to be taken out by you guys? Ziggy looks over at the virus of time, Scrupler, and says, sleep well, my child. And then he says, why are you saying that? That's so weird. And then Ziggy was like, I don't know, it just seemed cool at the time. But yeah, you're done. And so the laser wipes him out. And the energies return to the 5 chosen. The 5 biomes' peace are restored. And the Earth is safe once again. And 66 days later, the team decides that it was a good idea for them to become a team of the Chosen instead of just 5 individual chosen heroes. And throughout those 366 days, they were training their assistants. The assistant with the bad back finally got his back fixed, more or less, and is training in jiu-jitsu. The assistant with the raspy, shaky voice has started to work with Ziggy to grow some tea leaves and find other ways, alternative medicine, to help his fellow assistants. The assistant that was a green belt at Taekwondo became a black belt and is now teaching his fellow assistants how to fight. The assistant that wanted the messenger's help to set up his game console now runs his own game store, selling retro games, retro consoles, and one of the main taglines from his company is, "We will always make physical copies of things, no matter what happens to this industry. We will always make physical copies of things." And then they were wondering why that was one of his taglines, and he says, "Don't worry about it too much." They're like, "All right." And then you have a guy that's in a suit and tie, carrying a briefcase, just listening in and just kind of walking away, disappointed. But that's neither here nor there. The 5 chosen then go to the Tower of AC. And the water, the tide, is rushing in from below them. Granted, they are pretty high up from the beach. That's not too far from the tower. But the tide is rushing. And they're wondering if maybe they'll have to fight again. Hopefully they won't. But until then, the 5 chosen will continue to protect the world from the forces of evil. The end. Oh, post-credit scene. The messenger goes back to her village, and she finds that there is a young teenage girl. And this young teenage girl was raising her hand and asked the messenger a question. She says, do you have time to answer a question? The messenger's like, well, actually, I gotta go somewhere. I'm gonna be meeting up with the chosen. We're gonna discuss another way to protect the world from evil. And then the young teenage girl is like, yes, I understand that, but I have a quick question if you don't mind. The messenger didn't want to be rude. The messenger had somewhere to go, but the messenger was like, you know what? Fine, whatever. What can I do for you? The young teenage girl was like, so my older brother has a game company, and a long time ago, he was trying to set up Streets of Rage, and eventually he wanted to build his own emulator and things of that nature, but he obviously got that situated. It's been over a year. But now my question to you is, like, how do I get my games onto, like, my Steam Deck? And the messenger, Hailey and Nikki, the messenger, she said, well, you don't have to worry about that because you should be able to access them from your account. And then the young teenage girl was like, well, yeah, okay, I get that, I understand, but, like, what if I want to put them onto like a physical thing? And the messenger's like, okay, well, wait, are you not very bright? And then the teenage girl's like, that's actually kind of rude. It's actually kind of rude. I don't know why you're saying that. Can you help me or not? And then the messenger's like, no, I can't help you with that because they're on your account. You should be able to access the games from your account. I don't think you can do what you're trying to do. You can't put them onto not unless you like make something. You make something like that to kind of jerry rig that whole setup, but you can just log into your Steam account and then play them on your Steam Deck. And then the young teenage girl raised her hand again and says, what if I want to make a game about the mystery? And then the messenger, she looks at the little girl and says, you're not very bright. And then the messenger flies away. Teenage girl gets insulted, says, you really shouldn't be making fun of people like that. And then there's a little bit of energy that is being exhibited from her hand. And a symbol that pretty much is identical to the mystery's shield that was made of seemingly indestructible metal, and it was very lightweight. It seems like she might be carrying on his legacy without anyone else knowing. So there's your post-credit scene. All right, guys, I'm good. I'm done. So thank you guys for letting me do the improv stuff. And yes, the raspy voice situation has been solved. So big shout out to Ziggy and Dingus, AC and Tucson, Nikki Callie, Hockey Doll for being the heroes. Shout out to Scroopler for being the villain. And Hailey and Nikki for being the messenger. Yeah, and that was the precursor of the 80s video store owner. So when I was coming up with this, I don't know, Ziggy, I don't know if you caught it, but I had the 5 towers that were kind of like the tower bosses in Power World. The mace that I built for you was pretty much the what I forget the name of the needle looking mace from Valheim. And then let's see, what else was inspired by this? A lot of things, really, but those were some of the main ones I was thinking about to serve as like foundational elements. Yeah. So there you go. Glad you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, don't sue me, Nintendo. Hashtag don't sue me, Nintendo. Initially, what I was going to do with the characters, I was going to make them like turn on each other. And then Scroopler's character would be the one to bring them back together somehow. But for the way things turned out, Scroopler ended up being the villain. So, sleep well, Scroopler. When you wake up, please don't try to destroy all of these amazing people. So, yeah, thank you guys for letting me do that. That was fun. One more thing I wanted to mention is that to move the story forward, I wanted to give the mystery the advantage in certain cases because everybody was arguing over each other, or arguing about things that were probably pretty minuscule in the grand scheme of things, but they made them larger. You know, it was kind of like a whole Seinfeld situation, you know? So there was that. You're destroy the Power World. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. So Thursday, we are going to do just a regular music stream. Nothing too crazy. But we're going to multi-stream. So it'll be here and on Twitch. So it'll be a good time. And Sunday, what are we doing on Sunday? I think we have a specialty stream on Sunday. Specialty stream. Where is it? Okay, yeah, Sunday. We're doing spin wheel jams. But July 25th, I'm going to stream my farmers market gig at the Gainesville Farmers Market. And if I can't set it up by 9 a.m. my time, then I'll set it up at 11 a.m. and we'll just go from there. And then next Tuesday, we're going to bring the live learns back. Past live learns will be open, and new live learns can be requested. A great time to drop a cursed emote. I mean, in honor of the virus of time, aka Scroopler. You know, it could be in his honor. Yeah, so that's what we've got going on from today until the 28th. And then we have 2 more streams that we're doing to close out the month. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get some food, but not before I mention the particulars. So, big shout out to the heroes of the story, Ziggy and Dingus, who had to step away, AC and Tucson, who probably had to step away as well, Nikki Callie, Hockey Doll. Shout out to our villain, Scroopler. Shout out to the messenger, Hailey and Nikki, who was helping the assistant with his gaming situation, even though the assistant was being kind of selfish. And then Bert showed up earlier, so shout out to Bert. How are we closing the month? Closing off the month already. Ziggy, all these days have just been blending, you know? Mondays, for the past couple of weeks, Mondays have felt like Thursdays for me. Wednesdays have felt like Tuesdays for me. Fridays have felt like Wednesdays. It's just been all over the place. I don't know. Yeah, but big shout out to you guys. Thanks for coming by tonight and hanging out. I appreciate it. I know Power World has taken all my time. Yeah, taken all my time too, or at least a good amount of it. And then there's eating and sleeping, recharging. All that stuff is just like, why is that even there? Yeah, so Thursday. I'll see you guys on Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. We're going to play some tunes. Probably talk about food, games. Also, I hope you guys appreciated the gaming assistant that was being a pain to Hailey and Nikki. He started a gaming store, and he said that he would always keep physical products in this store. Always. I hope you guys appreciated that. Nikki, there you are. Nikki, you helped save the world. Everything worked out. Okay. Oh yeah, big W. Big W, Hailey and Nikki. Alright guys. Thanks again for hopping in. I'll see you on Thursday. And yeah. It's gonna be a good time. You all take care. And yeah. Stay cool. Goodbye.
Be with me till the end of days. Till the end of days.